All right, it's official. The Journeys kit is in. Only thing left is to put the decals on. It's officially find the shade season. Still working on the bodywork on the van. Someone was asking about the drive shaft clearance. You can see here I've got quite a bit. Solid fingers amount. I'm not sure if that's due to the 05 transmission to transfer case adapter, which I believe is original to the van. You can see I've got the Journeys kit all installed there. That went pretty well. It's a nice bit of kit, as the Brits say. Speed sensor wired. There's another look at the front drive shaft clearance. More than adequate. One thing I'll probably do is lubricate these heim joints with a little bit of wet bike chain lube. Something that doesn't attract dirt. I know from my performance and drifting knowledge, those heim joints do not like dirt. They'll wear out pretty quick. I mean, it's not used all that often, but definitely don't want it to be seized up or not working when you need it most. I've got most of the bodywork done along the bottom on this side. Still a little bit more to do on this side. This rocker was in good shape to begin with, or is in good shape. But I've got to do a bit more cleaning up. It's rusted again since it's been raining. I don't like to let primer get wet in the rain like that. Primer is porous, so it absorbs moisture, but I'll let the van sit in the sun before I actually end up painting it. I've still got to sand it down, make it 20-foot smooth. Not going for a show rig. Anyone who actually off-roads knows that your paint doesn't last long anyways, especially this end of the country. Once you start getting the BC pinstriping on there, doesn't take long. You start give up on having mint paint. It's an Astro van. What do you worry about anyways? See, someone's already had a touch-up pen and went to town on this thing, which is good. That means they actually cared about it. There's a few really good spots on the hood. And one over here. There's a nice scratch. But again, it's an Astro van, 20-foot rule. I don't know what I'm going to do about the fender over here. I might have to replace it, or, well, I'm definitely going to have to replace it or put some metal in there because it's pretty well rotted through right where it gets it real bad near the core support. Yeah, but other than that, 4x4 swaps in went well. The rosary that came with the van, I was dangling from the rear view mirror, finally just disintegrated, broke right off. I don't know, I'm not a man of God, but I think I should probably keep that in the van. I think I've had enough situations that turned out, felt like a higher power was looking after me. And if you met the guy that I bought this van from, you'd think the same, man. For this thing to be in one piece the way he was driving it around one of the busiest cities in North America. Yeah, there's something to it. It's either the soul of this old girl or there's something to be said about religion. I don't know. You make your decision. Another angle of the Journeys shifter kit there. I didn't want it as tight to the seat as a lot of people put it. So you can see earlier in the video where I drilled for my hole. If you want to have a similar orientation that I have there, I'm sure you could still fit a decent sized cooler between the seats, but I had already planned not to go that route. So one thing to mention, when you're going on the floor heat duct here, there's a little bit of space between the floor shifter boot and the floor, and I just put a nut. Might be hard to see, but I just put a nut there to take up that space. Okay, we're at an undisclosed location here. In neutral, foot on the brake. We're currently in two-wheel drive, so I'm going to pull backwards, which will pull the linkage forward. So there's 4 high right there. back into drive. So yeah, that's four-wheel drive. I can feel the extra binding when I'm turning. So let's try 4 low here. 4 on the brake, neutral. So we're gonna pull back. Oh, I can feel it. It definitely takes a little bit. So I'm gonna take my foot off the brake here, and we're gonna roll downhill a little bit. There, that's 4 low. So it's not bad. I gotta hold the camera while I'm shifting too, so that's a little bit hard to do. Makes it look harder than it is. Back into drive. Yeah, that's definitely 4 low. You see the shifter? Down just slightly. Okay, so we're in neutral. Foot on the brake. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard. So there's 4 high. Yep. Back into neutral. There's 2 high. Yeah, so it's way easier to go from 2 high to 4 high. Yeah, there's quite a bit of a detent there. It'd be pretty hard to accidentally bump that out of 2-wheel drive. So there's 2 high, 4 high, 4 low, 4 high, 2 high. It'll probably loosen up a little bit with time, but it's not meant to be easy. You don't want it to be just the tap of a finger to go in between gears. Definitely way too hard to bump, even if you hit that with your leg. Say you were ghost riding the whip, letting it roll, and you wanted to jump into the back there, go grab a beverage or something like that. I doubt you would knock that into gear. Alright, so hopefully these videos are helping someone out. This is definitely a job you don't have to outsource. No sense in paying a shop to do this kind of thing. Just an afternoon in the driveway, you can get her done. Basic hand tools. I worked on cars for a short time as an automotive apprentice for about a year, a little over a year. I worked on ambulances and cop cars, squad cars, and ambulances of all shapes and sizes. An old Cadillac hearse style ambulance was the oldest. Most of them were Chevy and Ford, you know, E350 and Express bodies. But the first mechanic I worked under, he definitely instilled in me do a good job, you know. Might as well do it right or don't do it at all. I remember my boss even said to me, "You work on these things like your mom's in the back of this thing dying." Which, at the time, thought it was a little bit harsh, but, you know. So this is what I'm going to use to lubricate the Heim joints on the shifter linkage. It's bike chain lube for the wet conditions, extreme riding conditions. Doesn't attract dirt. Put a drop on it, work it back and forth. Or if it looks awkward, it's because I'm trying not to get in the way of the camera. Oh yeah. She loves it. And this end here. Very nice, very nice. I like it. So there you can see the position of where I drilled my hole. For reference, the front of the van is that way there. Then I'm just coming up straight there. So I'm hard to the left side, I would say, of the factory square there. For the floor shifter in the early manual models. One last thing before I go here. 8 ball. or snap-on screwdriver handle for a shifter. What do you guys think? I've had this 8-ball kicking around for a good decade or so, and I've planned to do something like this. It's a little bit bigger than the factory knob, the Journeys knob. A little bit discolored there. Kind of makes it authentic though. Or the snap-on screwdriver handle. What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't really want to advertise for Snap-on, but I think that'd be pretty damn cool. So let me know down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate the likes, the comments, the subscribes, and I'll see you in the next one.